Hey everyone, welcome back to another LightWork tutorial. This one is going to be on the forms, so the documents to be signed and completed for part of New South Wales only in this video. So if you're only interested in Victoria SA, then you don't need to watch this one, but for anyone working in New South Wales, we're going to go through the forms. So to get there, we go into a job first, head into the job, open up the job, and then as you work down the side, so up the top you got the status, then you got your job details, spaces, evidence, and forms. So we're going to be in here today. So if I click on forms, oops, I've got the wrong state, so everything there is Victoria. It's quite easy to change. I'll just go to job details and change the job to New South Wales. And then go back into forms. Okay, so there's a few more documents in New South Wales, because one of the reasons is down here you can see we have the Certificate of Electrical Compliance work. So LightWork will actually populate that document for the electrician and fill it out with all of the scope of the project. So you'll put in the before lights, after lights, everything. I'll walk you through that. Also, it has a Lux level report down the bottom, and also there's a post-implementation declaration. So this one gets signed after the install's finished by someone on behalf of the ACP or the ACP themselves if they did the install, and also the customer, so the original energy saver. Next one, evidence pack section 3, is to be signed off by whoever's saying that it meets the lighting standards. So you need to meet the standards as part of the scheme with Lux levels. Oops, go back. Section 2, this one is basically a scope of the project, saying you know exactly what's being installed and what's being removed. And then the commercial lighting fact sheet is basically a summary about the New South Wales scheme that needs to go to every customer. So you can email that off to them just with a click. And the most important form, the nomination form. Now, one of the biggest things that most important parts of any New South Wales upgrade is the nomination form needs to be signed before the project gets underway. So the first form you should really be doing is nomination form. Now, before you get started with any forms, the first thing you do before that is make sure that all these are green ticks. So you've got in all the details. So let's say the implementation date when I completed the install was today. Also, you need green ticks everywhere. And the reason for that is all this information that I've entered about the site address and the person who's going to be signing the documents, that all flows through into the forms. So without it, you're going to have gaps in your forms and not going to make sense, and you can't complete them. So make sure that you've filled out all the job details. And we go back into forms that start at the beginning. So the nomination form. Now these forms will be updated and changing from time to time, but luckily for you guys, Demand Manager and LightWork stay on top of that. So the forms will just flow through in this software whenever there's an update. And you know, we'll make a little video to inform you about what the changes are. And also you'll be able to see the changes in the app as you go through. So one of the big things is to make sure you meet the $5 copayment in New South Wales. So that's why tab 1 up the top here, you can see confirmation, then you got ACP details, OES details, implementation details. So we're going to work our way from step 1 through to 5. But here you can see the original energy saver or the customer needs to understand they have to make a copayment of $5. So they click I agree, next. Now all the details for the ACP in this case are going to be Demand Manager, but you can pick any ACP you want with LightWork. So you just choose a different ACP if you want to use a different one, that's not a problem. And all those details should come through from the settings. So it's already pre-populated, I don't need to do anything. Just hit next. Now the original energy saver details, that's the company name, email and phone number. I've already entered that in the job details before. So next, all good. Now, implementation details, 55 Gummy Bear Lane, Sugarville, description, commercial lighting upgrade. Have you, to the best of your knowledge, signed a nomination form in the past? So the customer will say most likely no. Unless they have, then they can say yes and give a description. Oh, we had one previously, but you know the project didn't go ahead. They just need to describe, you know, the reason. So no, next. Now, this is where they get to the signature page. So this is what the energy saver should read. I'm the authorized signatory. They can tick the boxes as they come up and read them, make sure they read them. And then when you get to the bottom, there's just another thing saying if you put misleading information, there's a risk of a fine or imprisonment. And then Willy Wonka can sign. So So there you go, he's got his signature. If you want to change it, you can change it. Then when you're happy, you can either click done down the bottom here, view PDF, or send form. So sometimes you might have someone who isn't around at the moment and you want to fill out the details and email the document off to them for them to sign it. But the problem is, if you change signature and clear it, if there's actually no signature there, you can't send the form. So what you can do is just put a little X where the customer needs to sign, hit save, and then you could send them the form. So it converts it to a PDF, and you say I want to use Gmail to email it off to them, and then it automatically takes the email addresses from the customer and also from whoever the retailer or installer is, and it automatically populates it into that email. So it's going to send it to both of them. You can delete it or change whoever you want to send it to. It just explains why they're receiving the email, and then you can send it off. So I won't do that in this case. I'll go back. I'll just open up. There we go. So what I might do is just click done. Alright, so now you can see up the top here, it's saying form sent, and it's got a green tick because it's complete. So just remember, nomination form must always be signed before the project gets started. That's very important. The other document you might want to send off to them is the commercial lighting fact sheet. Now if you open that one up, there's actually nothing for us to do in here. It's just sort of for the customer to read. Now if the customer's there, they can read it on the tablet. Otherwise you can hit next and then send the form to them. So that one's done. It's very easy. It's just a bit of information for the client. Now evidence pack section 2, this is to be done by the installer. They're basically signing off on the scope of works. So here you've got the details. So all the spaces are on the far left here. The Wonka Storage Factory, Head Office Car Park, Office Level 8, Office Level 6. And you can see all the different details, the address, 55 Gummy Bear Lane, building classes along the way, the operating hours, is there air conditioning, also all the equipment, so the before and after lights, also the quantities, and then you got control gear. So if there's a ballast magnetic, it looks like all of them are magnetic, and then you've got the nominal lamp power. NLP stands for nominal lamp power, so the wattage of the lamp, and LCP is lamp circuit power. So all the old lights you pull out will be NLP, lamp power, so 400 watt metal halide, but the new ones are actually full circuit, so they include the ballast wattage as well. That's why it's lamp circuit power. And then you got your two control systems, daylight link control in some of these, occupancy sensor in the car park. Anyway, all the details are there. You can check it over, hit next. Then this is for the electrician. They can work their way through all the different checkpoints, hit next, and then once again, signature, you can turn it into a PDF and send it off to them. Obviously at the moment here, you see if I try and send the form, it won't let me. So what you can do is click to sign, just do a little X of where they need to sign, hit save, then it allows you to send the form. But I'm just going to say done for now. And if you ever want to find out what any of these look like when they're completed, you can just hit the button which is view PDF. So if I want to see what the evidence pack section 2 looks like, I can hit view PDF, and there you go, that's exactly what it looks like. So you can see the little X down here, and that's, you know, maybe the electrician wants to print it and sign it and scan it, or maybe they have an electronic PDF signature they can use, whatever they like, it's fine. Cool, so I'm going to go back now. So we've worked our way through 3 of these documents. Next one, evidence pack section 3. Now if I open this is to do with the Lux standard. So here it's saying, you know, was the standard considered in the upgrade? Yes. Was lighting design software used? Now if you do lighting design software, that's fine, you can hit yes, and it will just mean it takes you to the design and verification one up here as opposed to the compliance verification. So in this case I'm going to say no, we haven't used lighting design software, go next, and you can see it's skipped design verification and just gone straight to number 3. Have the lighting measures being carried out in accordance with the standard? Yes. Please provide your qualifications, maybe an electrician, or maybe you're a lighting designer or an engineer, whatever it might be. If you're happy with all your selections, click next. And now it's asking you, did you comply with safe movement? I think that just means you're above 40 lux. And IPD is to do with not having too many lights in one area. Now, then you've got your declarations. This is basically asking you, do you meet the standard? And when you work your way down, gives you a bit of a note about potential penalties. Hit next. And then Basil Faulty is the upgrade manager. So relationship with ACP, maybe he's a subcontractor. And then Basil can sign. Can sign on the tablet. And then if you're happy, you hit done, or if you need once again to send it or email it off or view it as a PDF, you can do that there. So it's going to hit done. No worries. Now, only a few left. Next one's post-implementation declaration. So this is something that needs to be signed by either someone who did the on behalf of the ACP when they finished the install. So this one is, here you go, this section is to be signed by the installer if they were the ones that did the install and took the lux readings. So tick off that you've checked all these things after the install. It's a little bit of double up, but typical for government schemes. Then Basil, you can sign that next one, save. And then if you go next, this is basically giving you maintenance schedule. So it says, here's the type of fitting we've installed, the assumed number of operating hours per year, recommended replace the lamps in X number of years, and that number is calculated based on the approved lifetime of that lamp. And then it talks about the cleaning schedule, which is annually, just to dust them off or make sure, especially if it's in like a manufacturing plant or something, you might need it more frequently than that. So next. Now, this is for the customer. I understand, I'm satisfied with the lights. We've paid at least the $5 co-payment. I'm aware it might be asked by iPart for people to come for documents or during the audit or site visit. And then talks about the penalties again and Willy Wonka when he's happy. Can sign. And then you're done. So send the form or save it. Just hit done. There we go. And now I'll go to the Lux one first, just because it already says complete there because I've been into here before. But this document, there's not much to do because it takes all of the effort that you did in the space details where you add the Lux readings in your spaces and it puts it in here and populates this document for you. So there's actually not too much to do. You can hit done, have a review, make sure it makes sense. I actually haven't finished it because I haven't put in all the Lux readings for all the different areas. So I should do that, but in this case, just for showing you the forms, I'm going to hit done. And now we've just got one left. Now this is quite new. The Certificate of Electrical Compliance is something that you get when an electrician signs off that they've done the electrical work safely, and it's part of the rules of the scheme. So this is quite handy because the electrician can take this as an electronic version and work your way across the top here until you actually can submit the CCW. It gets a unique serial number here, so it can be referred to in the future. Also, if there's a flaw, puts in all the details from what you entered in the job details earlier on in the app. If you're happy, you can hit next. Then you got customer details. So it's actually taking, whoops, I went too far. It's actually taking all these details from the data that was entered earlier on. So I've got all the addresses. If you want to put any more details, you just click and you can add. I won't. Now we're going into install details. Step number 3, it's commercial. Additional alteration to existing, you can put in if you installed a meter as well or whatever else the electrician needs to do. Special conditions, and then it's automatically ticked lighting. So next. Now it's got your installer details and it automatically takes this as well, so you hopefully won't have to change anything or enter any data. And it's even got your qualified license number and expiry date if you've entered that into the settings. To Test reports asking you a bunch of questions about the polarity, did you check the current, etc, etc, what date was the test taken. Next. And remember, the test date after you finish the install needs to be after they've already signed the nomination form. So very important, nomination form must be signed before the job is completed. Now license details again, and then you can hit next. Then there's like an attachment, and this will automatically attach these details, which is basically a summary of the before and after lighting upgrade that we've completed. So here's all the lights we removed in this top one, and here's all the lights we installed in this bottom one, and all the control systems, it's got them in there. So then it's automatically going to send off a copy of the CCW to the customer, and also as the electrician you can sign here, save, and then view the PDF.